118 hours. For everything. Learning to draw, actually drawing the model, and rigging it. Oh yeah, and here's the model. It's certainly not the pinnacle of VTubing, but starting from absolutely no skill in anything relevant, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, maybe it is. You can decide that yourself. Now let's get down to business and break that number down a little bit. So how exactly did I spend those 118 hours? I'll be splitting the time into 3 segments. Practicing to draw, drawing the model, and rigging the model. At the end of the video, I'll be reflecting a little bit whether all this effort was worth it or not. We've all had to draw when we were younger in art class, among other things, so I won't be counting that as practice since we're probably all on the same line for that. In my teenage years, I also did a little bit of drawing, but it was mostly copying images with the help of a grid. I made a few drawings like that, and I estimate I spent about 10 hours doing this. You can probably slap that on top of the total if you want, but I won't be doing that, because I don't feel like I learned much from it. I also took a long time to find resources and different kind of guides, but I can't really calculate that on top of the total, because I actually don't know at all how long it took. So for all purposes of this video, we'll just ignore it. First time I truly started practicing drawing was somewhere in the end of 2022, when I found this video by Mark Brunet. I didn't really calculate how much time it took to go through all the practices in the video, but I'm going to throw an estimation of 15 hours on top of the practice time because of this. If you're anything like me and get completely stuck on deciding what to draw, when to draw, and how to do it, you should definitely give that video a try. It easily got me over the hurdle of just starting without any skill or knowledge beforehand. And after that, well, it took me a while to get back to it. 2 whole years to be exact. At the end of 2024, however, I got that itch again. And this time I wanted to have an end goal in mind, so I could actually have something to work towards. And this silly Sunny Milk avatar was the end goal. So I set to work and started practicing the fundamentals of drawing once again. At first I was doing the same simple shape drawing exercises I used to do, but I soon shifted to tons of figure drawing to get the hang of the human and fairy proportions. Eventually I started copying art I liked, after which I started to draw Touhou characters in poses of real models. And yes, it's all Touhou. What do you expect from me? This part of the journey took me a grand total of 56 hours. After finally feeling confident in my drawing abilities, confident meaning I can draw some kind of a body, a wonky face, and I'm able to use the float fill tool to color my drawings, I got to work. When I started working on the model, I was surprised how far the basic practice had taken me. While far from great, the line work for my model turned out better than anything I had drawn before. After the line work, however, came the part that I had less practice with, the coloring and the shading. It was a little scary having to learn completely new things about drawing while working on the model, but because I had got the ball rolling on working on the end product, I had no choice but to keep going and hope for the best. Another major problem I ran into was not knowing the best practices for shading and separating the image for rigging, and until the very end I was afraid the drawing would be completely useless. It's worth noting that I had never even opened Live 2D at this point and only read tutorials on how to go on about separating the model. Why didn't I practice rigging beforehand? Don't ask me, I'm just a dumb fairy. In the end, the total amount of time I managed to spend on drawing and separating the model totaled to 25 hours. That's almost half as much time as I had initially spent on just practicing to draw. And then came the part I had been dreading for a long time. The rigging. Live 2D, the software used to bring the flat 2D images to life, has a 45-day free trial in which I wanted to finish my work. So, after a quick holiday in Japan, taking plenty of Fumo pictures, and visiting Reitaisai, I got to work. At first the software felt quite overwhelming, but I found this step-by-step guide by Merle Wufei, which really helped me to get started and understand the software. By following the video series, along with a few other videos, I actually managed to make the rigging of this model not look half bad. Now I'm using the term half bad very loosely here, as the model is obviously very simply rigged and has many flaws. Just to point an example, the mouth doesn't have many forms, so I can't make many faces and expressions. The model also takes some damage from the fact that I need to wear glasses and the face tracking doesn't really like that. Regardless, the model was finished and you have decided to stick around for this long to look at it, so it mustn't be that bad. Right? Right? And how long did it take to rig this? A total of 22 hours. And I kinda sweated the rigging out so I would have a few weeks left to make things look even better, but I was just freaking tired at this point and wanted to be done. And so, the project was done. 118 hours of my precious life spent on this. Couldn't I just have purchased a far better model for a few dollary dues? Yeah, I could have. But where's the fun in that? Using this wonky ass model has 1,000 times the charm of something I just purchased online. It's my Sunny Milk. It is a beer hairpin because it's my Sunny Milk. It's wonky as hell because it reflects my abilities, not some random artists I've never even met. This Sunny Milk is me. I am Sunny Milk. In all seriousness though, a custom model would cost way too much for a beginner like me, but a pre-made model would never feel like it's mine. So, I just figured I might as well try to make one myself. I've had a few big projects like this in the past, but I've never actually managed to finish anything. So in the end, I think the biggest reward for me is just finishing what I started. And here in the end, after all this blathering, I have a confession to make. I never watched a VTuber in my life. So what's the big deal? Why did I decide to make a model without knowing anything about the scene of VTubing? Because I thought being a VTuber without any knowledge about the subject would be entertaining as hell. I will be streaming both here and on twitch.tv/urnuki. So let me be your oh shit, or oh she, whatever, and see this fairy struggle with the very basic VTuber knowledge, terminology and culture. I forgot to film an outro clip, so like, subscribe, etc. Bye.